What's up? My name is Tony Calgin, college football coach. This is a coach's vlog, the vlog where I try to update you on everything happening in college football. Last time we spoke, it was February. Now it's mid-March. My wife's actually out of town right now, so me and my little buddy Alfie the cat, we're holding it down. So if you see this guy, running around in the background and he knocks over the camera, I apologize about that. So last time we talked a little bit about spring ball, okay? And college coaches are either knee deep in spring ball or getting ready to start spring ball up here in a couple weeks. So spring, again, is that 30-day window where you get 15 practices. So you're basically practicing almost every other day. So let's talk about kind of a typical week. So Monday, guys might come in and they get a lift or something like that. And then maybe Tuesday practice, Wednesday lift, Thursday practice, Friday lift, Saturday practice, and then Sunday off. So it's going to be a full week of either three practices that week or 4 practices that week. You as a college football coach, on that Monday, the guys are in the weight room. You're really focusing on maximizing that meeting time and that practice time that you're going to get. So your meeting, you're going to try to streamline that presentation, make sure it's as clean as possible. You're going to try to streamline that playlist so it's good. You're hitting all the coaching points and either doing a great job of reviewing the film from the day before, or making sure you got great game clips or something like that. But everything is going to be really, really curated because you have that extra time that you normally have during the season. Let's say it's Tuesday, we come out. Again, you're going to have that meeting. It's going to be a really, really great meeting, and you're going to really dive into the X's and O's in ways that you're not able to during the fall. One of the things that I love to do during spring is I'll do a game show with the guys. So it's a little bit more of a fun learning environment, or put the guys on the board, or have them teach a concept or something like that. So it's just, you have more time to dive into all that stuff. Then obviously you hit practice. And then after that, again, you have so much more time to dive back into that practice film and really, get to see who's getting the fundamentals down, who's getting the techniques, who's really understanding the schematics and the X's and O's. So again, spring ball is awesome. As we hit that May window, that's when coaches will go back out on the road. And in future episodes, I will be able to talk a little bit more about May, June, and some tips for you guys to maximize your recruitment during that time. All right, what's going on in my life? I thought, for the most part, I guess I've always been in spring ball, so it's like I'm locked in. I'm not looking at the job market, but still being unemployed, I'm very much searching for that. And yeah, there's actually a bunch of jobs still open. So I've interviewed for 3 jobs in the past 2 weeks, and it's really exciting. I would be super ecstatic to get back to working with the program, working with the guys, and really just feeling like I have a purpose again. I guess the intimidating thing is unlike other jobs, they're not just making more schools. They're not just startup programs or something like that popping up all over the place. So this next move, we might have to move across the country, which it's just it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to just think about and wrap your mind around. We've moved a bunch in the past few years. When I was at Ursinus, I was basically living in Collegeville. We moved to Philadelphia, lived there for 2 years, moved to Ohio, lived there for a year, moved to LA, now lived here for a year and a half and getting ready to do the move again. So it is definitely a profession unlike any other, maybe like the military or something like that. But yeah, so I'm excited for the next step. I'm happy that this is happening, and really looking forward to bringing my value to another program. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys can be doing in recruiting right now. So really, there's not a whole lot. You're probably in your spring sport or something like that, and awesome, focus on that. So let's talk a little bit about visits, because visits are going to be popping up both with these spring practice visits, obviously summer camps, visits during June, and then into the rest of the summer, and then obviously you'll have game visits come fall. So unofficial visits and official visits. So unofficial visits, they are limitless. You can take as many as you want, but all it really means is you and your family are paying for transportation. If you have to get a hotel, your family will pay for that. Meals, all that stuff is covered by you guys. So most of the visits that you will do will be unofficial visits. So when you go to visit that spring practice in the next few weeks, technically a summer camp is an unofficial visit. So I encourage people, especially if it's really low friction, kind of we talked about last time, don't save all your money for like these junior day visits or something like that. If you're really saving up for to try to get that scholarship, you got to go to summer camp because that's where you're really gonna get it. But for these low friction, maybe you have a couple schools within an hour, 2 hours of you, like go and visit, get onto campus, because you never know whether you're gonna like the 20,000, or not the $20,000, the 20,000 student population, whether you're gonna like the 2,000 student population, whether you're gonna like the city feel or the small college vibe or whatever it might be. Like just get out into campuses, see what you like from a campus perspective, get around the people and really get a feel for who you'd be excited about either playing for, working for, whatever it might be. I do think seeing schools and meeting the people will be a really, really helpful kind of just tip in the recruiting process, I guess. So yeah, that's unofficial visits. Let's talk a little bit about official visits. So official visits are visits that the college is going to pay for. Okay, so that's going to be your lodging, your meals, your travel. So whether that's gas, car service, or an air ticket, something like that. You get 5 of these in your entire career, and there's going to be some eligibility paperwork that you have to fill out. They can only last 48 hours long. There's rules on what the school can pay for and all that. But typically these happen at the end of your recruiting process. So most of the time you either have an offer or you've been really recruited hard, or like you might get that offer on the official visit, but they're going to be expecting a commitment. So this is really, really kind of deep later in the process. A lot of programs, if you're looking at D3, NAIA, a lot of Division IIs can't afford official visits just because it's obviously such an expense to have to pay for a flight, airfare, all that stuff. So typically you see official visits at the FBS level, FCS, as I said, Power 5. And understand, like Power 5 right now, they're probably going to do a majority of their official visits before the summer. Like they're hitting them right now. Probably won't do them in May because they'll be on the road, but then June, which is why most of those Power 5 programs are done with their recruiting class by summer. A lot of FCS, you'll see them doing them in December, which is why they want to wrap up in that early signing date at the end or end to mid-December. So any coaches that you're talking to, I would ask them, hey, like, what's your visit policy? You guys do official visits, just to get a feel. But again, like it's really going to depend on the budget of the school. There's definitely D3s and D2s that have the budget, have the money, and they'll do some official visits and stuff like that. But again, it's going to be, they are very, very serious about you, and they are looking for a commitment very, very soon. I think, there's been so many times in my career I've had people like reach out and be like, hey coach, like, I want to come visit. Awesome. Like, let's get you to campus. Again, if it's a kid from wherever, Georgia to Jersey, and they want to come out to California, awesome. I'm excited about it. Okay. But when they're like, well, are you going to pay for it? Look, that's not how this works. Like, I would love to get everybody to campus, but obviously like programs don't have infinite budgets. So if it's one of those things where they're like, coach, like, I'm not gonna be able to afford coming to campus, blah, blah, blah. Like, keep in mind, like, you're gonna have to do that trip multiple times. Once to get to school, another time if you want to go home for Thanksgiving or something like that, definitely for Christmas, coming back in the winter, then spring break, or going back home during the summer. So that's going to be, 4 to 5 to 6 times over the course of the year. Like, those tickets are going to add up, especially around the holidays. Those tickets are going to be very, very expensive. So I think if it's too expensive to go on a visit, it's going to be very, very unrealistic for you to actually attend school there. So keep that in mind. And again, that's why so many schools and like myself, like I say, like, look at schools in a 2 to 3, 5 hour radius, something that you can do a car trip. Okay. Because again, those schools are cognizant of that. They don't want to have to pay for a bunch of flights and hotels and stuff like that. So they have their footprint within that drivable distance. Okay, so really that is kind of visits. Like I said, check back in next vlog, and we'll talk a little bit about kind of May road recruiting, June summer camps, and some tips to help you guys out. And if you haven't, please check out my my recruiting class. It's about 35 minutes long, and there's so much information packed in there. I think it's good for any high school player, high school coach, any parent of a high school player, but it's going to give you a lot on the timelines and a bunch of different tips to help you maximize your exposure and hopefully get recruited. All right, take care.